Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we will be taking a deeper dive into our thoughts about Camille and Thomas.
We're going to do a lot of deep dives this week going into the weekend. I just want to handle some business first. Westfield 90, thank you for the super thanks.
Yes.
As well as Bayer 393, I think it's Bayer TV. Thank you for the super thanks as well. Listen here, I'll say it every time it happens. We don't come on here asking for your money. Mm-hmm. We're not that type of channel, at least not now, right? But no, seriously, we just doing it because my wife loves to watch reality TV. She got me hooked on it, and I am a willing participant, and I'm happy that y'all are willing participants as well as subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting with us as we watch this foolishness.
Yes.
Now, Blair.
Yes.
We about to do this deep dive on Camille and Thomas.
I'm gonna have you guide it.
You go. Oh no, it's gonna be a deep conversation.
Okay.
It's really gonna be a deep conversation. All right. What is your thoughts on Camille and Thomas? Just overall as a couple, as I guess the couple of Married at First Sight this season.
My thoughts are they're doing well.
Okay.
I think that we've seen some rocky moments.
Mm-hmm.
The black boot camp of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas trying to kind of get a little bit of softer side out of Camille, and then we came across bondage this week.
Oh yeah.
So we've definitely seen some highs and lows, but I think that they really are connecting,
Mm-hmm.
and the issues that they're having, I think, are issues that are interesting to watch.
Yeah.
As far as two different people coming together and trying to make a marriage work, and that's what always drew me to Married at First Sight from the beginning, not all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
So.
At the end of, and this is my last question before I start the discussion. At the end of all of this, do you believe that they both will say yes?
Yes.
That I do not know. This episode actually made me go, I don't know if she's going to say yes, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know how somebody, there's a saying, even though I don't know how true it is, they say you could tell a lot by how someone dance, right? I can also tell a lot by how someone views sex, right? And the way that Camille was coming off to me in this episode, I just want to look at it just a little deeper, right? Throughout the foundation, or at least the background of their relationship, there's been a lot of what I'm used to is really, the flashy guy, and basically I'm used to someone who is R&B smooth, who's basically someone who's not serious about me because she's on Married at First Sight, right? So I want to steal a term from actually what Alan used for Madison and bring it over to this conversation, right? I don't want to make it seem like transactional in the sense of hooker or prostitute or anything in that matter, but I feel like the way that Camille views sex, especially when I heard her talk about it in this episode, is also how she views Thomas. One thing that she keeps saying is, I want someone to take control, right? And to her, I think Thomas may be a little too timid for her. I give an example. During the honeymoon, she packed on some lingerie or something like that, and she teased saying that, oh, maybe we could pop this out or something of that, or something of the sort, right? And of course, during the honeymoon, she did not pop it out, right? To me, I say she's a teaser, not a pleaser. You get what I'm saying? And then we even get to this episode to where I'm going to paraphrase and I'm going to use PG language and things of that nature. Thomas was talking about, every now and then, Camille, you can sing for me. Mm-hmm. Right? Dude, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? And she said, oh, no. That's a deeper connection. And I don't want to open myself up to that way, just to paraphrase. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but y'all having sex. Mm-hmm. So I really don't understand the whole receiving and not giving part from her end when basically she's been teasing sex during the honeymoon and also asking Thomas to lead. So in a way, I'm like, based off of the guys that you may have been with, I wonder, does she view sex in a healthy way, in a healthy relationship way? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Help me. Give me your thoughts.
Okay, so I think there's multiple things that we have to unravel from the conversation.
Okay, teach me.
Okay, so I forget who it was. I think it was Iana. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But the lady said, you can tell me what to do if you tell me what to do. If you can tell me what to do.
That's Jill Scott.
Jill Scott.
That's
okay.
Jill Scott on the Breakfast Club. She said.
Yes.
Yes. The saying is kind of sketchy too. I think the saying is.
Say it again. For me.
I think the saying is something like,
If you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something's off. One word is off in that sentence. But listen, I know exactly who you're talking about. It's Jill Scott.
So I think let's go with that as the overall umbrella or the frame that we're working with. Okay?
I'm following.
So with Camille asking Thomas to take control and the fact that we'll talk about at the honeymoon to where he actually grabbed her and kissed her. And that's how they were, able to kind of connect a little bit more because he did what she asked.
Yeah.
Now, in the dynamic of the relationship, Camille seems to be the more dominant one.
Okay.
And even though she's asking Thomas to step up in some ways, he's still pretty hesitant, I think out of respect, because he really still doesn't know this lady. And he's still a little bit hesitant in order to respect what her boundaries are because he's still learning them as they go.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think that when Camille has discussed this R&B smoothness and this take charge type of guy, you kind of have to come in with that energy. And I think that Camille, if Thomas would have approached her with that energy to begin with, she might have fell into the role of being more in the back seat, which she was talking about, Dr. Pia, about wanting to be in the back seat a little bit more. So I think because he didn't come in that way, she's operating how she always does, which she says comes from her kind of being like parentified as a child and having to be the one to take control. So since the dynamic has already been set up that Camille is the dominant one trying to get Thomas to come along and to actually push things a little bit further, I think that it will be harder for them to make the flip to where he's maybe more dominant in the bedroom or different things, because now she's in her mind saying, you can't just take it. I'm going, not like that. Not take it. But basically, you can't.
No, it's okay. Listen, we know it in the context of what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
You're safe, Blair.
Okay, thank you. You can't just tell me how I'm supposed to give it to you. I'm the one who's setting the pace and telling you what we're allowed to do. So I think that's kind of the current dynamic. And with Thomas trying to flip it and do what she's asking, I think there's going to be some type of like a power struggle there once he actually tries to do it. And then my example is that he says he wants her to sing on a mic, and she's like, that might come a little bit later. Well, the thing is, if he would have, pushed her head down and said, get to it, and never asked her really if she wanted to or not, I'm wondering, Camille, is that something that you would have like kind of turned you on? Or is the fact that he asked you, it gives you the hesitancy to say, we'll see.
So,
I don't know if I'm kind of clarifying.
No, listen. You are working it out because, like I said, we have no notes. I'm writing down notes while you're talking because I'm trying to flesh these thoughts out. So basically, Thomas asking politely in a safe space, as in front of a therapist, can be a turnoff potentially for Camille to where she's because like, no,
that's not quite taking charge.
Okay, now I understand the taking charge part, right? From a guy perspective, let me try to put some things in like perspective, right? You can't come to me as a guy, right, telling me how freaky you are, how open you are, how all these things, and I like this and I like that, and singing on the mic is where you draw the line. I'm like, wait a minute, we're still entry level position right here, but yet you still want me to sing my scales. You get what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Be mature, Blair, okay? Right? So it's like, it's giving, to your point, dominance. It's giving pillow princess, right? It's also giving, my thing is this. I'm going to try to put it this way. If I was to sign up on Married at First Sight, and I'm talking about if I'm on my last lick and I'm like, you know what? I want these strangers to find me a wife, right? And I'm fully committed to the process. And I'm fully committed that this is my wife. And I'm fully committed to like, okay, we're already having sex, right? What am I saving myself for with my wife? So it's like, to her, it kind of seems like, okay, I could do this, but I'm really saving myself for like somebody else. That's why I think what you said can be 100% facts, but I think your facts can lead to her saying no. Because if there's a power struggle to where she's used to taking control, and my thing is she wants him to take control, but it's like, do you want me to take control or do you want me to take control from you? Because it seems like you're always going to go for the will and not even give me an opportunity to go for the will. So it's not only me taking control. I have to take control from you now.
And then Thomas, what he's doing is kind of like asking, can I have the wheel?
Yeah. So
can I sit in the front seat?
And
she has to relinquish it, but I don't know if she is wanting to.
Or not only relinquish it, when we go to the car, go to the passenger side.
Yeah.
Like don't go to the driver's side. And then I have to, and then criticize me when I say, can I drive? It's like, why can't you just go to the passenger side and see, am I willing to take that leap? Because I think in the back of her head, she still got him in that black boot camp. You get what I'm saying? Of like, I think in the back of her head, she's still wrestling with what he's not more than what he is. And in the midst of doing that, I think she is subconsciously, I don't think it's a purpose thing. I'm not trying to criticize her. I think she's ignoring what he's asking for. He's asking for softness. Apparently, even though she has been doing her thing and things that happened to her when she was a child to where she had to take the lead as 10 years old, now you're married, right? And I think Thomas is in a position to where, listen, I have no problem taking control, but I don't want to have to wrestle you for it every time. Can you be soft? Can you be vulnerable, right? Because I am vulnerable. I understand that there are his mom said it, and even his Camille said it, that he's soft. He have a softer side. He's in touch with his feelings. But I think there is something to Thomas asking, hey, I want a softer side out of you. The same way as you want me to be to take control. I'm not trying to like muscle you every time like we want to do something.
Well, I guess the only thing that I would say is that I can see where Camille is coming from when it comes to her certain boundaries, because I'm not trying to critique her boundaries. Like, literally, this is a stranger.
Boundaries are boundaries. You're right.
But I will say that it takes time to trust somebody to actually kind of let your guards down fully and to relinquish that control. Okay. So I can hear what she says she's wanting, but I don't think the trust is there with them completely for her to fully let go.
So why have sex with me then?
Well, because I think that she's comfortable enough to do that, but I think there is some type of humbling of yourself, when you get to business, get your head down and get downtown. You know what I'm saying? I think that for some people that they might take that as like a different level of intimacy. Some people feel like they can, sleep with somebody, but they don't want to kiss them because that's intimacy.
And
I think like even that can be considered backwards.
And that's what I think that I'm wrestling with. I don't know if she views sex as intimate. I think she views sex as transactional, as in something that I can get out of it, right? That's what I see whenever it's like, okay, like, yeah, we should do this and you can keep doing this, but I'm not going to do this. And it's like, okay, you get to feel the pleasure, but what do I get? Well, in order for you to get, you got to take control. And it's like, but I'm asking for you to be softer and I'm asking you to be open. Now, me, honestly, I respect boundaries as well. That's why I would have suggested, if you're going to put boundaries on sex, because that's a deeper connection. I thought we was already husband and wife, but it's a different experiment. Yeah. So it is stranger. So I do give a bail out of jail. Then let's take sex off the table completely. Like because I need to know how you view sex, right? Because there is a such thing as, if you've been going through all these trash guys based off of Camille's story, right? All these guys that doesn't value you, all these guys that basically use you, and that's why you're not vulnerable and things of that nature. Also things that you've been through when you was a kid, basically having to be basically the grown up in the house. It's like, oh, you may view sex as something unhealthy. You may view sex as something that's just for you and not so much for the other person. So that's why I'm like, I think there needs to be a complete, if she's been through all these smooth jazz guys or basically these roughnecks or these flashy guys, $C and things like that, I'm like, oh, your view of sex can be toxic because you like it rough.
Okay.
No. Well,
let's not kink shame.
I'm not kink shaming, but I'm saying there is something to like, oh, it's how can I say this in a PG way, right?
You ain't gotta be PG. We all grown here.
I know we all grown and we're married, some of y'all, right? But there is something to hey, I want to get mine, right? And even though I don't treat you right, you don't got to treat me right. I like the fact that you flashy. I like the fact that you smooth jazz. I like the fact that you are black. You get what I'm saying? And maybe in some of those sexual transactions that Camille had in her past, I'm reaching that, oh, it was maybe transactional. And maybe what it's done to you, you kind of learn to like it that way. And when Thomas is basically asking, hey, I want to be softer, you over here jumping on the man back, hurting him, calling him the B word. It's like, where this come from? And what about my personality say I like this? So that's why I don't want to kink shame, but I'm using his personality and how he's been respectful of her and things of that nature. And I'm seeing how
she jumping on his back,
how she interacts with him in a sexual way, or what she views intimacy is taking the massage gun, pressing it into his chest, right? Jumping on his back. Listen, I have no problem with jumping on the back, but he's 40, right? Calling him the B word, right? And it's almost like you're selling me you're this freaky girl and you like all this stuff, but you might just be a pillow princess that just who just like to receive more than give, because intimacy is receiving and giving, right? Not just receiving.
I don't know. I mean, because people get down differently. She could be a dominatrix for all I know. I mean, and Thomas might like it. So
no, Thomas might like it.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I agree that for some people in marriages, it is a give and receive type of experience. And I think that by Thomas asking for her to sing on the mic, that he is looking for some receiving instead of giving all the time. He said his neck was starting to hurt. So I think that there is a piece of that there. So even if she's not there quite yet, maybe she can start to give some of what Thomas is asking for in different ways. Like, it doesn't even have to necessarily be sex per se, but she can say, like, I want to give you a massage today. And not, crank the thing up
and
to
not
4.
hurt me.
Exactly. So ultimately, I think that Thomas is requesting to be the recipient of some affection and some sensitivity. And it doesn't necessarily have to be singing on the mic, but I think that Camille could start with giving him the type of affection he wants in the way he wants. You ain't got to make it a dominatrix situation every time. Yeah. He just wants, rub on him a little bit, fix him up a bath and all that type of stuff. The way that he's kind of careful and considerate with you. That sounds like he wants more than that, but give him a little bit of to where you're making your man feel good.
Yeah. Look, what you said is 100% correct. I think sex is the vehicle to really talk about really the foundation of their relationship. Really what he's asking for is for her, right? That's for all of her, right? And the fact that he used, even though he's using singing on the mic, and trust me, as a guy, he can be very direct of what he likes. Yeah. Like, hey, I want to be, sing for me. You get what I'm saying? And for him to be talking about or making a joke like, I'm over here giving you, I want to receive something, but sex can just be the vehicle for how he's really viewing the relationship. And I wonder, Camille, are you giving outside of sex, right? Are you giving as much as you are receiving, right? Thomas is asking, as he always say, a softer you, a vulnerable you, right? He wants to help you with your vulnerability. You say you cry once a year, right? And things of that nature, right? And Thomas even said, hey, if there's anything I can do to help you be vulnerable, let me know. I want to help you, to paraphrase on a couple episodes ago. So I think sex, or how you have sex with someone that you're in a relationship with, tells a lot about how you love and how you give love, right? How you receive love. And my thing is, if you are married, and if you are fully committed to the process, I know it's a strange experiment, right? For her to be open to sex, open to receiving scales and things of that nature, and then use the same excuse of, well, that's a deeper connection, and like, no, I'm not doing that. That would put a little worry in my head, because I'm like, what's deeper connection than sex itself? Yeah. Or else maybe you don't view sex as a deep connection. And then that means that the way you view sex is unhealthy when it comes to a healthy marriage, because you view sex as something as just like, I'm gonna get mine, if you get yours, cool. And maybe with the guy she's been through, it maybe help her shape the way that she likes sex. And I have no problem with that. But the only problem I have with that is when it comes to your husband now, it's your husband. This is not just a random relationship that you're dating. This is a husband that we expect, as Blair wrote on her board, it's the golden couple of this season. Well, you really could have wrote the only couple of like this season. So if this is your husband and you're fully committed to the process, as we believe Thomas to be, right? It kind of gave me worry that you was like, oh no, that's for a deeper connection. Whoa, wait a minute. You're my wife. What's deeper than that? And then I'm giving you the deeper connection that you're not trying to give me. So that's why I'm like, it kind of made me worry. But, I'm just brainstorming. Anything else that you want to talk about, Camille or Thomas?
No, that's all I got.
Listen here. Let us know what you think, right? I'm speaking from a guy perspective, right? I understand that, we are givers and some of us don't receive as often, right? And I found it very suspicious that Camille was willing to receive more than she's willing to give, while at the same time compiling that she's not as vulnerable, and Thomas is asking for more softness, as Blair clearly stated, that, take control. And I said, I have no problem taking control. I just don't want to wrestle you for it. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. The way I take control is very different than the way you take control. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we off, if we on, if you on the same kind of path we on. And based on the comments, we may make another video about this, because I'm still trying to hash it out in my head, because I'm like, Camille, that's a little fishy to me. Anything else?
Nope.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above.
Bye.